This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
I don't even know if you'll be okay.
Hey everyone, it is my day off and I am in Chinatown. And guess what? I am here at a dumpling place that was recommended by my friends Jane and JD, if you guys know them. It's this place called Fuzhou Cuisine, and we're gonna eat some dumplings.
I know that you want me for yourself.
Guys, check out my crew for my vlog. Thank you everyone for coming today. Hard work, great job. Just kidding. There's a movie being shot on the street. I'm back home. This morning, Candy was walking really funny and I thought she dislocated her shoulder. One of her arm was like this and she was like, so I got freaked out, but then she just had her paw caught in her collar and she was fine. I've been watching Ozark on Netflix. It's a 1-hour show and I didn't want to watch it tonight because it just seems like too much of a time commitment for my precious day off. So I didn't watch it, which I don't know if that makes sense to you. But then I ended up watching 2 hours of YouTube, basically about nothing. My tilapia is all defrosted. I don't have a crazy creative ideas about how I'm gonna cook it. I'm just gonna cook it.
You want me to know you're doing right. Sending this shit to me all the time. Just telling you that I never lied.
So here it is, my meal prep for the week. Fish and sweet potato fries. And some for home too. Alexa, turn off bedroom lights. Hey guys, it's Sunday and I am headed off to work. I had the worst kind of dream where I just saw patients in my dreams all night. Anyway, I'm not going to film in the hospital because of patient privacy and just hospital policy, but I will explain a little bit about what happens at work. So since I can't really film in the hospital due to hospital policy and patient privacy, I wanted to use some drawings to explain to you how things work in the emergency department and what I do on a day-to-day basis when I go to my shifts. So when I first get to the hospital, I get what's called sign-out from the previous resident that I'm taking over for. Sign-out is basically a process where the care of the patient is transitioned from one team to another. And the sign-out process happens once or twice per day because the emergency room is open 24/7. So every time a new team comes on to work, we need to hear about the patients that are still in the emergency room. So I hear about the patients who are still being evaluated, and I hear about any labs or imaging that needs to be followed up. And if the patient is being admitted to the hospital, then I'm going to be the person watching over that patient until the patient is transferred to the hospital floor. So in the emergency room, there are computers with lists of patients, and we call it the board. So when I'm ready to see a new patient, I look at the board and I look to see who has been waiting the longest, their name and their age, their chief complaint, or the reason why they came to the hospital. And I can write my name down next to the patient's information so that all the other staff members looking at the board now knows that there's a doctor assigned to the patient. I then look over the electronic chart to see if the patient has ever been in the hospital before, what their medical problems are. After that, I go to see the patient at bedside and talk to the patient about what's been going on. So I take my history and do my physical exam, and then I start to think about what the patient needs. Does this patient need medications, IV fluids, labs, imaging, etc.? Something important to think about early on in patient care is the patient's disposition, which is basically where the patient will end up going after their time in the emergency room. Are they going home, or are they likely going to be admitted to the hospital for further care? At some point after seeing the patient, I talk to my attending physician about the patient and present the patient. I give my brief history and physical exam findings, my impression of the patient, and my plan for the patient. The attending will go see the patient and either agree with my plan, or sometimes they will disagree or add on more things to my workup of the patient. Because I'm a resident and still in training, the attending physician has to see and supervise every patient that I see in the emergency room. Sometimes Sometimes while I'm seeing a patient or while I'm doing something else, I will get a notification, which is either an overhead announcement or phone alert that a very sick patient or a trauma case is coming to the hospital. I then pretty much drop whatever it is that I'm doing and head to a specific area of the emergency room called the trauma room or the resuscitation room. A lot of people will show up to the same area to prepare to take care of this very sick patient, including doctors, nurses, people who will do EKGs and x-rays, people from surgery team, or anesthesia if needed. It could be a car accident, a gunshot wound, or someone having a heart attack or stroke. It could be anything. So after we take care of this sick patient and after things are more or less squared away, we all go back to what we were doing before, which is taking care of other patients in the emergency room. So this goes on for the entire duration of my shift, which is usually 12 hours. So they say the goal for an intern should be seeing one patient an hour, so that would be 12 total in a 12-hour shift. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but things do get piled up. So at this point in my training, I'm seeing anywhere from 8 to 12 patients during my 12-hour shift. So after my shift is over, the nighttime or the daytime team will come and we do our sign-out process just like we did when my shift first started. So I hand off my patients and then I go home, and that's pretty much it. The beauty of emergency medicine is that once you're done with work and you go home, you never have to hear a phone call about a patient that you've been taking care of. So when you're at work, you're working, and when you're home, you're home. So I hope that was helpful in kind of explaining how things flow in the emergency department. I know it can be really different from other parts of the hospital, so let me know if you guys have any questions, and definitely let me know if there's any video ideas that you guys have for me, or if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about in future videos. So that's pretty much it for today, and before I go, I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. When I launched my website 2 years ago, Squarespace is a platform that I used to launch my website, and it is still the platform where I have my website on today. Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform to create websites. They make it easy to create a beautiful website or an online store with award-winning templates. You can create websites with Squarespace's all-in-one platform. There's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade, and it all comes with 24/7 customer support. Squarespace offers a unique domain experience that's fully transparent and simple to set up. It's used by a wide range of people like musicians, artists, designers, restaurants, and more. So if you guys want to try Squarespace, you can go to squarespace.com/StriveToFit, and you can get a free trial and 10% off your first purchase. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. As always, if you want to support the channel, you can go to StriveToFit.com for some merchandise. And if you are not following me on Twitter or Instagram, you can do so at TheStriveToFit. And if you want to check out any other videos, you can go over here and check out some of my other videos.